security crisis. And what other different remedies? Diego, who will be talking to us from Freetown, the capital of Sierra Leone. Also, the Commander General of the Vigilante Group of Nigeria, retired Navy Captain Umar Bakori, will be joining us via phone call from his Kaduna office this morning on the program. Let's take a short break, and when we return, we shall be availing our listeners with People's Security Monitor's news beats. Please stay tuned.
Here comes the People's Security Monitor on your classy Citizen FM 93.7, a program designed to serve as a platform to raise suggestions on how best to improve Nigeria's security system in collaboration with our security agencies and the citizenry. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon on 93.7.
You are welcome to People's Security Monitor News Beat. The River State Police Command has said that 3 of its officers who kidnapped and extorted the sum of $3,000 from 2 men will face an orderly room trial and query respectively. The spokesperson for the command, Grace Iringekoko, will disclose this while parading the suspect before newsmen in Port Harcourt on Monday. Said the action as part of internal disciplinary measure taken against operatives involved in unlawful activities. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, said President Bola Tinubu has given approval for emergency procurement of digital tracking tools to help halt kidnappers in their tracks. Wike, at a media interface in Abuja, said while he would not go into details, the informants recently arrested by security agencies in the territory are cooperating and offering actionable intelligence. The Nigerian Navy on Saturday handed over a fishing trawler, Lady Jessica, and 13 crew members to the Federal Department of Fisheries in Bayelsa. The trawler was arrested on December 11 by the Navy's forward operating base while trawling within an area reserved for artisanal fishing boats. As part of measures to ensure the safety and security of lives and property, as well as surveillance of critical national assets and infrastructure, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has received 3 drones and 100 highly profiled self-configured walkie-talkies from international partners. NSCDC Commandant General Dr. Hamid Abubakar Howdy will receive the gadget on behalf of the Corps in his office, thanked Equipment the Needy Initiative and his partner for the kind gesture. The Nigerian Army has reported the arrest of 6 workers at an illegal oil refinery capable of producing about 3 million liters of adulterated petroleum products within weeks. The artisanal refinery site spans over 40 plots of land and is strategically concealed beneath dense forest cover to evade area surveillance. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Niger State has apprehended 4 individuals for operating an illegal refinery in Tafa local government area. The suspects were found producing low pure fuel oil by mixing condemned oil, crude oil, and premium motor spirits. And that ends our security news beat.
Our security agencies and the citizenry every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 noon on 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja. Remember, Nigeria's security is our collective responsibility.
Welcome back. This morning, We are being joined by retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, Mr. Weston Inanego, who will be talking to us from Freetown in Sierra Leone, where he currently works as an advisor in the office of the National Security Advisor to the Republic of Sierra Leone. Mr. Weston Inanego is one of the top-notch retired police officers Nigeria holds in high esteem on account of his sterling services to the nation. Highly skilled, Inanego had served as police commissioner in 3 states of the Federation, namely FCT, the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Kogi, and Katsina State, where his excellent performances still remain points of reference. He retired from the Nigerian Police at the prestigious rank of AIG, in charge of Zone 9, comprising Imo, Abia, Anambra, and Enugu State. Mr. Wilson, you are welcome to People's Security Monitor this morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to be there. I was actually speaking in the state, not Castina, FCT, Ekiti, and Kogi states.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sorry for that omission, sir. How is life in Freetown this morning, sir?
Freetown is very calm. We had light rain on Saturday, so the weather here is very good. And my office is located on Tower Hill, and from here I can see the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh.
Fantastic scenery.
That's a very interesting atmosphere out there. So actually we are discussing self-defense in the face of intimidating insecurity in Nigeria. And we're trying to look for ways out. How do people really take on to self-defense in a situation like such as we have right now in Nigeria? Could you please throw some light, for our listeners and entire country?
The Nigerians understandably are worried about the current level of insecurity pervading the country.
Go ahead, sir.
So, but the answer is not to proliferate more non-state actors, because we might try to solve the problem and create another. You go and take native herbs to cure malaria and to damage your kidney. That's what I want to say. But the citizens can be involved. They have very, very important. How many are the security agents? How many police officers do we have? How many military? How many civil defense or DSS or whatever? But not every inch of our territory can be covered by security. But the citizens are everywhere. So the citizens have an important role to play in security without necessarily resorting to self-help. Because self-help will bring anarchy. And that's not what we want. But there are proven ways that citizens can participate in the affairs of security.
Okay.
And it will pay off. Yes. And one of which is the community policing concept.
Okay.
Partnership and collaboration with the community. Public spirited individuals. Accountability on the part of security forces. On accountability on the part of the judiciary and operational service. Every state actor has the instrument of national power has to be utilized. You have the Ministry of Information, you have the Central Bank of Nigeria, you have the Ministry of Nigeria, and a whole lot. But far enough. We've not been able to organize our effort to be able to deal with it. These people are just a tiny fraction of the population. If our people will agree, but there is nothing you do that does not involve risk. Even eating, you can joke. So some people say, oh, if I tell the police, I tell the military, I tell the SN, the people come and kill me. Even when you don't tell, don't they come to your house to kidnap you? So to do nothing is worse than to do something and get whatever. So Nigeria should see that this is not a fight. This is not a fight for men and women in uniform alone, but for every Nigerian that is patriotic. Every Nigerian must see this as a call to national service. This imposes on us civic responsibility. We must be interested in the business of the other person in our neighborhood. We must be interested in the business of every person around us. Government should provide civilities. There should be both things. You shouldn't take one chance. You know, go queue up, no vehicle. So any vehicle that comes, they enter. And they get robbed. So I think it's a convergence of governance and law enforcement by all the actors. This is what is going to solve it. So, but if the civilian JTF, no proper ground check, in your introduction, the news cited, we talked about 3 officers in Lagos who kidnapped somebody, extorted the person, and they have served their room trial. So, if those who are even properly trained, under proper supervision, can involve such act, come to think of it, the ones you just take up masculine. But even if you want those to contribute, there is an organized way you can do it, a special constabulary scheme. The Police Act makes provision for special constabulary. And you can recruit people within your neighborhood, forward the names to the local government representative or member of the House of Assembly, member of the National Assembly or local government, you forward them to the governor. The governor will compile. Oh, from this part of the city, I have got 10, I have got 20 men and women who are ready to participate in the special constabulary scheme.
Sorry, sir. Okay. Yeah, sorry, sir. If I may interject a bit, a lot of people will readily argue that they are not getting enough support from the government, you know, in the task of, you know, achieving this security. They are not getting enough support from the government. Would you subscribe, would you align with this opinion?
Well, it depends on the kind of support. The government to give this is to organize it through having security meetings or support from one level to local government, area council, and the state. I think what people should be demanding is, could government come out and tell us what you are doing? And in terms of support for private people for security, is to organize them at the level, but providing necessary logistics. Aspect. You don't expect the military or police officers to provide their own uniform or vehicles or fuel vehicles by collecting, contributing money to patrol vehicles or patrol the streets. So I think it's about demanding accountability. How many people come into their police stations and say, "DP, good morning. Listen, I have come to find out how many vehicles do you have? How do you fuel your vehicles? How many are you? How do you have the capacity and capability to respond to critical incidents?" Because if we just say, and the police say we have no logistics, I think the public should be in the forefront of making this demand. I don't want to say what support. The support government can give is to make, especially those decisions of criminal administration, the police, the judiciary, and correctional service. I think government should fund those three very well and demand accountability. If I as an informant, or anybody for that matter, somebody is ended and brought before the court. And the guy for physics is either for want of prosecution is discharged. And what of myself that gave information from his arrest? What of the policeman that staked his life to make this arrest? So along that chain, the criminal administration value chain, people should be held accountable. That is, if somebody is just discharged because there was poor investigation, the officer who conducted the investigation who supervised should have some explaining to do. If the judge just look at it and it doesn't mind if something happened, I just discharge. Or the judiciary or the correctional service is taking the people from the court and claim they were attacked and the suspects escaped, or somebody connived with the correctional service. So I think if we can have accountability along the line, we're going to be able to reduce this. And it is the public that will demand accountability. We have the civil society organizations, and I think government has a way of recognizing and supporting them. That's the way. But government is not going to meet individual families. All that government is going to do is to create that enabling environment that these agencies function properly.
Yeah, beyond this, quite a lot of people will also tell you about the issue of seeming mistrust now between the populace and the police security agents. How do you think this can be rectified to achieve security? Because people will tell you that when you get criminals reported, the information gets back to them and they come back to unleash terror on them. How do we get this rectified? How do we restore confidence between the people and the police especially?
I think the police should be in the forefront of engaging the public through effective strategic communication. And by that, because there is a kind of mistrust. And how do you solve the issue of mistrust? It's frequent engagement, frequent interaction. And in cosmopolitan cities like the FCT, in most districts, we say they have neighborhood association, or in the estate, they have resident association. And I think when they have their meetings, the DPOs or the area commander, if they should have been able to attend personally. When they attend personally, they share prevailing crime situation with the public using such forum. And that the forum, when you have any information, here is my number. I am your area commander. I am not you. When you begin to build this personal relationship, and I can pick my phone and call you, and you respond, it means you have my interest at heart. And when you demonstrate capacity, that if we make report, you're able to respond and to deal with the issue very correctly, and then I'll be encouraged, move close to you. So I think the way to go, as far as I'm concerned, first of all, the police in particular should engage neighborhood associations and NGOs, every spectrum of the society. Once you begin to engage them, they begin to trust you. Who come and visit police stations, and they have that access. They visit you, they share information with you, and you go. Or you tell them, so we are having kidnap. Become kidnap aware that you have value. This is to give them those lectures that will help them about their personal security and engage them. So members of the public should be able to call the police station and expect that the police will respond. When they report case, there's proper professional investigation. And if the report they have brought to you has no merit, you have to see them through the investigation and say, look, this is the evidence. In the case of theft, this needs to exist. Nigerians are very understanding people. And I think if they can close ranks, I think they're going to be able to build confidence. And when you are on patrol, all the night watch, all the guards, both private security or private guards in homes, those personnel on patrol, whether motorized or otherwise, you stop to make contact. You stop to make contact with them. Oh, they are doing the same with person. I hope since you have been on guard here, nothing untoward has happened, nothing you are not curious about anything, and then you give that a little lecture on security brief. That's
okay, sir.
why information. So what I'm trying to do is try to have a local knowledge, understanding of environment. Try to make personal contact with those you come in contact with. Share your numbers with them, and then let them be able to contact. Okay. And then when they have complaint against officers' conduct, they should expect you to deal with it dispassionately without taking sides, either with them or with the officer. I think when you begin to do that, confidence will begin to come, and then people will be free. They know that if we make this report to you, you have the capacity to deal with it without letting the person go and disclosing their identity.
Okay, sir. I'm actually not yet through with you as far as the issue of mistrust is concerned. But before I move on to the next question, let me quickly tell our viewers that they can be part of this conversation by calling us on 081-8222-2206. The number again is 081-8222-2206. Yeah. AIG, sir. Hello.
I'm with you.
Yeah, yes. Quite a large number of people will argue that the poor welfare package being churned out to the police is one of the determinants, is one of the reasons why, they easily cave into, corruption, which again triggers the issue of mistrust, because they are not actually they could barely live with what they are being given as salary, other welfare packages, so they have to look elsewhere for survival, not only as in their packages, their salary, even with the equipment they work with, the police van, as low as torchlights and the rest. What do you think, sir?
Well, it goes. All Nigerians are aware that the police welfare package is very poor and morale is low. I want to use this your medium appeal to the government to take the issue of police welfare seriously, both welfare while in service or when you retire. But we will not use that as what I would take as an excuse for poor performance is the provision of logistics, vehicles, technology. That to me is so important. But when government must take it that when you motivate, when you give incentives to officers, you are going to get the best out of them. But my appeal through the security agent is to see their service as a call to national service. But there are things they cannot do. We are going on patrol and we have not been very poor. I cannot buy fuel. And now there is a lot of uniform and other accoutrements with good boots, or even boots before boots, torchlight, like you rightly mentioned, and all those things. Those are basic things. But I think it's about the government accountability. I want to emphasize on accountability. If you give 10 naira to the commissioner of police or to the IG, the oversight should see to it that this money, how is this money spent? So that we can take it, we distinguish between from fund utilization and fund availability. So these are very critical aspects. And then if you have police that is about 300,000, it should, when you're making projection and you introduce the envelope system, then you make the police envelope big. But when you make the envelope, so I say, look, you can't go outside this envelope. You introduce a bar. That is a problem. So what I want to say is, both on the part of the government and on the part of the police. When the governor support the police, then what are they supporting? If there is kidnapping in your state and the commissioner to look, we can't do anything. We have no vehicle. We have no technology. If you don't do this, we cannot. But Mr. Governor asked me, said, Commissioner, would you want to reduce kidnap? Might be the kidnapping 10 a quarter, for example. Now, 10 individuals have, and the commissioner said, look, if you give me 10 patrol vehicles, if you give me money for their daily ration allowance, if you make available to me drones, if you can get me a tracking device, I am going to reduce that number by 50%. And then your SA security and yourself, every week you hold a meeting to monitor the performance of the police. Week 1 comes, kidnap is still, in fact, instead of 10, but at 1 comes, instead of 10, they are now 15. I said, Mr. Commissioner, you ask for vehicle, I've given you. You ask for tracking, I've given you. So we should, governor should, when they are supporting the police, should be based on result-based gift. When you make it result-based, you'll be able to hold the officer accountable. It means the resources you give the officer will be utilized. So officers must be given incentives. Officers should be given tools to work with. Technology is a force multiplier. If you depend on law enforcement alone, you are not going to be able to stop, for example, kidnapping. You've got to use instruments of governance. What happens? What are the modalities for example, for collecting ransom? What are the modalities? How come every time they say bring the money to Bali, you get to Bali, they say no, come to Abuja, they say no, it's not. What I'm trying to say is we must interrogate this and say, look, let us have a research so that the modus operandi of the kidnappers, we will know it. We now know how they collect this money and when they are within an area. But these are operational things that you cannot discuss on radio or whatever. But I want to put out there.
So does that suggest you are advocating for state of emergency in the Nigerian security system, so that the whole issue can? Does that suggest that you are advocating state of emergency in the Nigerian security system?
No,
that
okay,
go ahead, sir.
What I'm saying is this: that we must begin to look at how do these individuals collect this humongous amount of money, 100 million, 60 million, 30 million, 5 million, from the collection point, and how these monies are saved. We must use the instrument of national governance, the CBN. From the CBN to the banks, what are we going to do? Because if you take away that connection, that monetary nexus, you'll be arriving. When we had this monetary crisis during the change from the old naira to new naira, did we have kidnap? This thing should get us thinking. Or let's start. Is must brainstorm around this top subject matter, because the incentive for kidnapping in Nigeria is 100% for ransom, and because it is for ransom, we can't find solution our monetary issue, because young people should come with suggestions security agencies to say, look, since the incentive for kidnap is money, how do we take away this incentive? What happened during the change of money in February, March 2023? We didn't have kidnap for some period. Are you following?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, these people have devised a method of collecting money.
Are you suggesting that there seems to be elements of connivance between the criminal suspect and the people in the banking sector, sir?
Well, the banking sector may not know, but I expect that if I am living in the neighborhood and that person living who had just barely 20 cattle or 30, suddenly his children are carried over 200, I'll be interested in finding out. The monetary authorities should find out, did they take the money to the bank? Why can't we even have people in the marketplaces where cattle is being sold? Who come to buy cattle? How many times? You and say, this problem is going to solve. People must rise. There are cattle markets all over the place. There are produce markets all over the place. We've got to begin to look at the change in lifestyle, change in spending habits. You have a young man in your community, for it you will not see. Might be for one, so the guy comes or he's buying drinks for all his friends. Accept as a special manager, and he made money and came back. And so what I'm trying to say is, cities must carry out their civic responsibility, and it is being interested in what the other person does and finding creative ways.
Okay, so before we round up, sir. Okay, let's go back to the issue of state police. There are states that will tell you that yes, financially they are buoyant enough to take care of their own police, but this again is in contradiction. In contradiction to the position of the Constitution that recognizes only one police for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The fear again in some sectors is that if given the power of creating state police, the tendency is high that politicians will hijack it for their political interest. What do you think, sir?
Ordinarily, state police is a good thing. Campus police is a good thing. We have a membership of state police. The traffic is more or less on the concurrent list. That is why you have LASFA. That's why you have road traffic services, VIOs all over the place. They're basically performing the function of traffic police, so to a certain extent. But when the military intervened in 1966, the then head Supreme Military Leader, as he was then addressed upon, set up the Gopi Commission of Inquiry to look at the excesses of chief authority to police.
Hello, go ahead, sir. Hello.
The commission investigated the allegation of high-handedness, censorship, and all the rest of the evil that have committed. So even after a good closely implemented the Lobby Panel report, and that's why all the police forces were merged with the Nigerian police force. Now, I don't state police, the way we are constituted, kind of politics that is being carried out at this age and time, I think it will be a disaster to give state police advantage. But over time, and I think they can start with the special constabulary. Have you asked yourself, why are the governors not interested in special constabulary? You can even take 10,000. Federal government will pay about 10% of the 10,000. The state government will pay. When they exist, the governors never pay because they're under supervision of the local DPOs and the rest of them. If the governors are really interested in state police and it is for national security, their state security, let them experiment with the special constabulary. Once they start that and it is seen, naturally the thing will just evolve. But now, have you heard that there is no state that conducts local government election and any other party wins? It's impossible. Do you know that the commissioners of police, do you know what they go through? If a senator or a minister or whatever who does not belong to party and the governor of that state is party A, they will not allow the person go to his community. You see, when they are in an ideal situation, it's a good thing. It will provide jobs.